Now, yeah, I'm gonna run a live test now with the Smooth platform. This is the landing page. Now we are in the market assessment phase, and here are the main instructions for the users to know what to do. First, we require the users to fill in the entry questionnaire of the platform, and once they receive the compliance report, then if they can, to fill in the survey for the market assessment. For what regards the Smooth platform, here we explain the information we suggest to have at hand, databases for personal data for customers, employees, and suppliers, privacy policy, cookie policy if the user wants us to analyze, the Android package file if they have an app mobile, and the URL of the website to analyze the presence of cookies. All these data are not necessary. It means that if the user does not have all this or does not want to upload the files, it's not necessary. You can still run the platform. Then here there is a 4-step guide. First, to sign the participation agreement, and then complete the 10 block of questions, and then you will be receiving through email, and also it is possible to go back to the platform to download the report in PDF format. For signing up, here I have to provide an email, password, company name, country, Spain, for example. Here we choose the country and the language in which the company operates. Okay, username. Then here, as I said in my previous presentation, the platform is launched in 4 languages: Spanish, Latvian, Italian, and English. Here I can choose the language. If I go here, I have first to read the participation agreement. This is a quite long document for us to be also compliant with the GDPR. Here are all the terms of use of this platform. We explain what we do with the data. Of course, we delete all the databases and files once we generate the report. It is once we reach the end of this document when we can click the accept button, and then I can start the test. Here we have 10 blocks of questions for the contextual information regarding the processing activities of the company. The first one is for the general business information. Here we have, for example, where does my company operate within Europe, in which country. Okay, here I can put the country. Yeah. Sorry, but here. Now, if my company is a micro enterprise, yes. In which sector do I operate? Here I have some options. Let's do, for example, healthcare. In what file formats I store my data. Let's put paper, electronic copy, Excel, for example. Then when I push forward, I go to the second block. Here is for the processing of customer personal data. Here we have these toolboxes in order to the user to know what are specific legal terms or maybe technical terms to help them. Here, if I have a different format than an SCV or Excel, I can here export my database to CSV with some tutorials for customers. Let's say, yeah. And then here I can upload an Excel, for example, here. Yes, I've uploaded a document. Which type of data do I collect? I will say contact information. Where did my company get the data from? Directly from the individuals. Why does my company process that personal data? To conclude or perform a contract, and also to comply with a legal obligation, for example. Then I push forward. Here is for the processing of personal data. Blocks 2, 3, and 4 relate to the presence of personal data in our databases. This information goes to the database module to be analyzed. In order to not to do this test very long, I will put no, because the questions are quite similar for these 3 blocks, but just changing the 3rd party. Then here for suppliers' personal data, I would say no. Then pushing forward, I go to the 5th model that is for the website and mobile app. If my company owns a website and mobile, I would say yes, both. Only a website, only a mobile app, on neither of them. I would say yes, both. Then here I provide the URL. Example, if I use cookies, I will put yes. If I make visitors aware of the use of cookies, I will say no. If I have a cookie policy in place, here we explain what a cookie policy is. I say no, for example. If I have an app, here I will have to upload the APK file to be analyzed. Here, if my mobile app collects or processes personal data, I would say yes, for example. Okay, now we are in the 6th block for transparency. If my company has a privacy policy in place, I will say yes. Here, this information goes to the text analysis module. Here, I can upload the document for my privacy policy. Yeah. Here we are in the block 7th. This is for the data minimization, accuracy, and storage. Here the question: if my company is collecting the data that actually need, this is the principle of data minimization. Here the explanation of what this means with examples. I'm not sure, then I would say no. If I periodically review the data I hold and delete and anonymize the data I no longer need, I would say no. if I have appropriate processes in place to check and maintain the accuracy of the data I collect. I would say no. If my company knows what personal data holds and if I have an appropriate data retention policy in place, retention policy, if it's difficult to understand, we have here the toolbox to understand what is it. I will say no. Then forward. Here I have for the ICT security measures, if every person that works in my company can access the most of the ICT environment, here the explanation of what is it, the ICT environment. I'll say most of files and software are accessible by most of employees, for example. If my devices are password protected, and if I have a password policy in place, here the explanation. Well, I will say that we do use protection for all of the devices, but we do not have a password policy, for example. Do you have internal security policies and data policies that you communicate to your employees? No. Are your devices and storage devices encrypted? What does this mean? Here we have the explanation. Some, I would say no, for example. Do you lock access to your ICT environment and to personal data? No. Is access to your offices secured by an entry system and you keep track? No. Do you back up your systems in any way, including the cloud, to a certain extent? Do you store backups at a different location? To a certain extent, forward. Here, the block for subject data subject rights. If we grant individuals the rights regarding the processing of their personal data, here are the rights. Here, the explanation of what does this right means. In this case, I will say no, because I don't do it, and I don't have the measures. If I keep evidence documents of all the steps I take to comply with the GDPR, then I will say no, because I don't know what steps they are. Then when I click finish, here now all the information, the contextual information, together with the analysis of the different files and documents that have been uploaded, start. This is a process that can last between 10 minutes to maybe an average of half an hour. Once it's finished, the system automatically generates a compliance report that is sent to the email that the user has previously filled in the login page, and can also go back here and download it, because it will be appearing a download button for the compliance report in PDF. We have also, let me see if that can be shown. We have also an admin page in order to control all the activity in the platform, where we can see if a given user have completed the report and have asked the data module or the text module or the cookie module to run. And if there is any bug, we can detect them. We cannot see the files uploaded, but we can, with this admin page, help them in case there is a bug in the process. Now I will try to show an example of compliance report. Okay, this is, I saw them. This is an example of what a compliance report generated by the Smooth platform is. The journal disclaimer, reminding that for higher risk processing, maybe it is needed to take extra safeguards. Here we have reference to the GDPR handbook in case we want to know more about high risk processing. Coming from the database model for processing customer data after the analysis of the database, the Excel that I've uploaded. Here there is a reminder of what is the data minimization and what does it mean, and all the list of requirements to be in line with that principle, the data minimization principle. What should a privacy policy contain? The following information, and here the list of minimum information that should contain our privacy policy. The reminder for each of our different processing activities, what we need to identify, the purpose. Here, the database model has identified the following categories of data that maybe in the entry questionnaire we haven't identified. We just said that we were just gathering contact information, and here in that case in the Excel was information about rights, for example. And here this is the warning. Coming from the website and mobile app, we have the reminder that if we use cookies, we need to provide our visitors clear information about the use of cookies. The Smooth platform in this case has identified third-party organizations in the website, and they should have the opportunity to refuse the cookies. Here we give good practices to use a layered cookie policy to be in line with the GDPR. And here we have the analysis, the detail of the third parties that have been found in the website and were not in our privacy policy. And we should mention them. Regarding transparency, here is where the text module works and provides feedback. And what this module is saying is that apparently the privacy policy uploaded is not very easy to understand, requiring an education level of college junior. And we should maybe revise simpler sentences, and here are the detail of the sentences that maybe we could improve to make it easier to understand. Coming from the data minimization block, here some recommendations: to review regularly personal data we hold, to delete and anonymize that data if we no longer need it. From the ICT security block, this is what the system found, that we have a long trip to reach a good security environment. And if we want to know more about what potential measures we could take, here we have an external resource also to know more about what is there to be improved. Regarding data subject rights, as I said that I was not sure, or I didn't know what they were and if I could provide them. Here is the list and the recommendation to take the necessary technical and organizational measures to guarantee that requirements and rights. Regarding other GDPR requirements, yeah, we should keep evidence of the technical and organizational measures, and we might be required to justify that we comply with that. There are not specific measures to prove the GDPR compliance, but here we have some examples of what specific measures could be. Here we have, for example, also a document for processing activities, what should contain. And yeah, this is a quite complete report that is for a specific case that we had run for a test. And this is all from my side regarding the test of the platform, the demo. If you have questions, you can ask them later or through the chat.